So we're here again, back to discuss the concept of place and what that means in the greater context of our purpose, promise, and place. And what those three things are: purpose, promise, and place. They're all about mindset. They're all about the attitude of the individual and how that's going to feed into effectiveness as an individual in an organization, and ultimately the effectiveness of that organization. So when I think of place, I think of belonging. I think of influence. I think of permission. I think of having a place at the table where you're invited, you're welcome, but even more so, you're expected. All right. And this is about the individual, but I also think this is about the team. And let me explain why. And first, we can think of in terms of a family, right? You have a place in your family. There's a set of expectations that come along with your place in the family. There's a set of responsibilities. There's also a set of privileges. There's things that you enjoy as a result of being a part of that family, right? So when we think of place in terms of an individual inside of an organization, we do think of that individual having a set of expectations and a sense of responsibility. But also there's a degree of privilege that goes along with that. And there are certainly rewards to being a part of that team. So what it comes down to then is knowing that you're invited, that you're welcome, that you're permitted to be here. And along with that, I mean, you talk about expectations, you talk about responsibility. No one would invite you to participate in something really if they didn't think you were also capable. I suppose there are some instances where people get invited to, perhaps, to be a part of something because, there's some sort of sympathy or pity situation going on, but that's not really happening to highly effective people in highly effective organizations. When you are asked to sit at the table, so to speak, there is just an assumption that you're highly capable and that you have a unique contribution that you and likely only you are able to make. And when you make that contribution, something happens. And if you withhold or you play small in the contribution that you can make, something else happens. And of course, as an organization, we obviously want to make the greatest, at least the organization that I'm in and the ones that I kind of hang around with, our clients and our colleagues, we want to make the greatest impact possible. So we're not flippantly asking people to be a part of our team. We aren't just hiring people because like, oh, hey, well, we got an empty seat, you better come on board, right? Help make sure we don't sink. That's not the situation that we find ourselves in. And our clients aren't doing that, and neither are some of our most effective colleagues. So when we are asking someone to be a part of the team, it's because we have a deep belief in that individual, in the power of that individual to make a contribution to help us make the overall impact that we're going for. So I think, why does this matter? It matters because you can choose to see yourself that way in your set of circumstances inside of an organization as a powerful team that you've been invited to join, that you're welcome to participate in, that there's a set of then kind of commensurate expectations and responsibility, and then also privileges that come along with that. You can say, I'm that kind of person, or you can not, I guess. And what does it look like if you act in such a way as that you don't think you're welcome, where you're not sure if you're here because you're you or because just somebody has to be here? And that's a two-way street. That's part how we as the individual choose to see ourselves in the circumstances that we find ourselves in or choose to be in. It's also, from an organizational standpoint, the message that we're sending. Are we sending a message that, yes, you're invited? We're looking for your active participation, not just your presence, right? You know that joke about taking attendance, right? And it's like, oh, present, present, present. This isn't about being present, though. Yes, being present in the moment and being focused on what you're doing certainly matters and makes a big difference. This isn't just about being in a place. This is about understanding that you have a place, that there has been a place carved out for you specifically, a role that you are to play. And you get to choose how you play that. But it begins, I think, with the foundational belief that this place exists and that you belong in that place. And I believe that if you as an individual show up that way, you are going to be a top performer in your role. Your organization is going to benefit. You are going to make contributions to your team that are going to make a difference. That team is going to make a bigger difference. And of course, we all know, like, that is where the real reward is, in seeing the work done in a way that changes you, changes your team, changes the people that you're doing this work with and for. So in order for you to believe that there is a unique place for you and that you are uniquely equipped to sit in that seat, your organization, the organization, needs to have it as part of their narrative. They also need to have this acknowledgement. And it's not enough just to know it. You have to say it. You have to talk about it. You have to communicate it. It's good to know that there's a purpose to what you're doing. And it's easy to get busy in doing the work to fulfill the purpose that you overlook and forget sometimes why you're doing it to begin with. And the same is true for the promise that you might make as an individual and as a team. And it's certainly true of your place. It's one of those things that seems a little esoteric. It's a little heady. Why are we even talking about it? But I believe it's important to talk about. It's critical to talk about and to demonstrate this truth for yourself and for your team. And then, yes, for those of us that have customers and clients, to be able to demonstrate to your customers and clients what your place is in their life, so that they know, again, who you are, the work that you're committed to, and the impact and difference that you want to make for them. So in the end, it's about unity, unifying your organization to your clients, having a unified organization because the individuals in that organization understand this concept of place, tied in with this greater purpose that your organization has and that the individual has. And then the promise that you as an organization can make because of the individual promises that the team members are making.